To be honest, both my wife and I would prefer if this marriage never happened. Right now, if possible. That's what my father-in-law blurted out during my sister's wedding ceremony. He sneered at me and my sister, saying, "You're beneath us." My sister was dressed in her wedding gown and started crying. I stood up as her older brother to defend my sister and her husband against our father-in-law's attempt to ruin the wedding. The buzzing crowd fell silent, then erupted in applause. My name is Robert Smith. I'm 30 years old and single. I am currently a small family-owned lunch vendor. When I was a sophomore in college, my parents died in a car accident, and I decided to drop out and take over the family business. I moved back home and lived with my sister Emily, who is 6 years younger, while managing as a lunch vendor. I wanted to become a public servant in the future, but it can't be helped now. I had to do my best at what I could do now and make a living with my sister. Fortunately, my parents left detailed notebooks on every aspect of the packed lunch business. From ingredient quantities to recipes and cost calculations. My father's rough notes were beautifully transcribed by my mother, who had excellent handwriting. Smith's packed lunch. The shop sign was handwritten by my mother, adding a personal touch. My mother taught me how to write and said, "Your writing reflects your heart, Robert. Let's make sure you write beautifully." Although we live in a digital age now, I've always cherished my handwritten letters. Emily was influenced by me, and also had beautiful handwriting. The small 5 square meter shop, along with the handwritten recipes, are precious assets left by my parents. With the help of loyal part-time workers, I managed to learn how to make the packed lunch. I even earned a culinary license while working. Emily often helped me with work, which was a great relief. When I was 24 and Emily was 18, she said, "Robert, after I graduate, I'll help you with the shop." "No, you don't have to push yourself. I'll manage somehow." "You should do what you want, Emily. If I can choose, making packed lunch is what I want to do right now." Emily. After graduating from high school, Emily immediately started helping with the family business. I was truly grateful. With Emily's help, I began developing original menus. I analyzed what was selling well, refined each packed lunch, reduced the number of items, and focused on a lineup of key products. "Robert, the fried chicken is selling like hotcakes recently. I modified Dad and Mom's recipe. It's a garlic and ginger sauce flavor that appeals to local tastes. Our spiced chicken curry is also selling fairly well. I hope it continues to do well. Shall we increase the prep volume?" Don't hesitate to ask for help. As Emily suggested, the fried chicken became a hit, spreading quickly by word of mouth. Some regular customers even started ordering the fried chicken curry, which wasn't on the menu, but it eventually became a staple. My father often said, "Our customers are helping our shop grow." Although busy times could be hectic, seeing the part-time workers and Emily working hard, along with the happy faces of our customers, naturally eased my fatigue after work. As the second-generation owner, I began to believe that Smith's packed lunch had potential for growth and that there was much more we could achieve. "Welcome." Emily's cheerful voice echoed through the store. "Oh, that man is here again. He's a recent regular customer. He's been coming in with the determination to try every item on the menu. You're just one fried chicken box and a special fried chicken curry away from completing the menu." "Quite impressive," Emily said. "I like to save the best for last." "Thank you for always making such delicious lunch," the customer replied. Having regular customers is a blessing. On rainy days, sales typically drop, but this customer would even come during storms. "Robert, I have something to tell you. I'm actually dating him." "What?" "That's a surprise." "Emily, you're quite something. His name is John." "John is." Emily explained that he was a second-year graduate student from the nearby university and the same age as Emily. His family runs a food manufacturing company, and he plans to take over in the future. When I asked how they met, she said, "You know the handwritten product description cards?" "Yeah, the ones you write. They're all handwritten by you." He asked who wrote them. When I said I did, he was very interested. It said that handwriting reflects one's heart. He must have fallen for you because of that. Since then, he's been coming to the store frequently. I can't believe it. Good job, Emily. That's wonderful. Emily likely had never dated anyone before. At 24, she had found her first love. As her brother, I was thrilled. Emily, you know you can always leave the shop if you want. I've set up the system so it can run without you. I know. But I told John that I want to keep working here. I love the shop. Even if we live apart, I'll commute here to work. Feeling the shop's growth firsthand is something that makes me happy. It's what Mom and Dad left us. I'll introduce John to you soon. Emily introduced me to John. My name is John. I'm Robert, Emily's brother. He was a fine young man. Tall and slender. Very elegant. He said he loved Emily's handwriting and her cheerful customer service. I tried the special fried chicken curry. It was amazing. So delicious. I'd like to help. How about selling the chicken curry in pre-packaged? Pre-packaged? I never thought of that. Please let me help. Since his family is in the food manufacturing business, we detailed the recipe I had inherited and modified to be spicier. We began the process of turning it into a pre-packaged product. Is that your handwriting in the recipe? It's beautiful and different from Emily's. Really? Both Emily and I learned how to write from our mother. That's wonderful. How about using your handwriting for the labels? It would add a unique touch. Emily's handwriting would be better. It's more universally appealing. Understood. We'll proceed with that plan. A jointly developed instant food idea. A month later, 100 servings of the chicken curry were delivered to the shop. My handwriting is all over these. I think the vertical brush script was a good choice. It's amazing. So this is how they're packed. The customers just heat them to eat. Incredible. John, how can I thank you? No need. This was something I wanted to try, combining my marketing studies with practical experience. Your cooperation was more than enough. Thank you. I'm so happy. Emily carefully displayed the new product with a handwritten sign in the store. It was a huge hit. It sold out quickly, and we had to place additional orders. Smith's packed lunch pre-packaged chicken curry even started being sold in local convenience stores and supermarkets. One day, while we were relaxing at home on our day off, something happened. Emily's eyes were swollen. It looked like she had been crying. What happened? Did something upset you? You can talk to me if you want. John's parents are against our marriage. Here's the story. After graduating from graduate school, John and Emily started dating with the intention of getting married. One day, Emily accompanied John to meet his parents. John's father said, "Do you seriously think you can be with John? I hear your parents passed away long ago, and you're the daughter of a small packed lunch shop owner." Yes, I lost my parents when I was 16. I started helping with the family business right after high school. I'm looking for someone more suitable for John. I could introduce someone. You might have had a tough life, but you are not suitable for my son. He's our precious eldest son. Please leave. Despite John's efforts to mediate, his father wouldn't listen. Emily came home feeling sad, embarrassed, and disappointed. Not suitable, huh? I can't believe some parents still think like that in this day and age. I'm proud to be the daughter of a small packed lunch shop owner, but today I just feel shattered. The talk about status and everything. I just couldn't stop crying. How can they judge you based on what little they hear? John says he won't give up. Even if his father opposes, he wants to proceed with the wedding plans. You might end up eloping, you know? It sounds like a reverse Romeo and Juliet. It could be a tragic story. I told John not to push himself, but John said he couldn't imagine his life without Emily. He was serious enough that he said he would cut ties with his parents if it meant they could be together. Whether that was the best for both of them was unclear. As her brother, I couldn't stand to see Emily cry. If anything bothers you, no matter how small, talk to me. Thanks, Robert. It must have been the first time for Emily to be looked down upon, so it hurt her. Tears welled up in her eyes again. John was very serious about marrying Emily. At home, Emily was writing wedding invitations by hand. She was steadily preparing for the wedding. It's their life, after all, I thought, feeling like there was no room for me to intervene. Meanwhile, I was working on promoting the shop using a website and social media, despite being unfamiliar with computers and phones. Recently, I bought a food truck, had Emily write the chalkboard menus, and started attending local markets to spread the word about Smith's packed lunch. The wedding date was set. It was going to be a small ceremony with close family. Robert, I've managed to convince my parents. Please attend the wedding without worry. I trust you, John. But Emily still insists on working at the shop. That's included in our plans. Having her work will be helpful. Robert, you know the customers come to get their energy from me. And you will miss me, right? Emily was my only sister, my only family. As her brother, it was my duty to let her go, but I felt a bit lonely. Her promise to continue helping with the shop was my only solace. The wedding day arrived. Seeing Emily, usually in a cotton bandana, apron, and jeans, now with her hair beautifully done and wearing a wedding dress, I was amazed at how stunning she looked. Thinking about all the struggles we went through, I couldn't help but shed tears at her radiant appearance. Robert, why are you crying? It's too early for that. We're just getting started. Oh, it's just dust in my eye. Ouch. I should take some pictures. I took out my rarely used DSLR camera and captured Emily from various angles. I must have clicked the shutter about 50 times. These photos would be precious memories of our time together. Robert, you're such a kind person. Thank you for everything. Please continue to support me. In truth, those words of gratitude were likely meant for our late parents. Ever since I dropped out of college, I've been a stand-in parent for Emily. I hope I managed that role well enough. Overwhelmed by Emily's thank you, I turned away and cried. The ceremony proceeded as planned. The bride and groom sat at their seats, looking over at us with a mix of shyness and happiness. It was time for the father of the groom's speech. Although John's father had initially opposed the marriage, John had assured me that he had convinced his father. Good day, everyone. I am Sam Thompson, the father of the groom, John. On this auspicious day, I feel like I've seen that man somewhere before, I thought as I watched the groom's father. He seemed accustomed to public speaking and was adept at holding the audience's attention. His speech was written on a long, vertically folded piece of paper, suggesting it would be lengthy. I expected it to be a heartfelt speech that would make the bride and groom happy. As I was saying, I run a food manufacturing company and intend to pass it on to my eldest son, John. He spoke about his company, how he had raised John with care, and his desire for John to inherit the business. This meant that Emily's future would be secure. However, as the speech continued, it took a strange turn. I heard the bride's parents passed away early, and she's had a tough life as the daughter of a small pack lunch shop owner. In contrast, John graduated from graduate school and is set to become an elite. This is the very definition of disparity. Is this kind of misfortune acceptable? Frankly, both my wife and I wish this marriage never happened. We want it annulled immediately. The room began to buzz. The groom's father placed the letter on the bride and groom's table as if to say, "Take this." A wedding speech that proposed breaking off the marriage. This wedding was orchestrated to humiliate us siblings. Emily was in tears. John got furious at his father's selfishness and stood up abruptly. I also stood up seeing this and signaled John to calm down. I took the father's letter and stepped up to the microphone. "What are you doing, young man? Why did you take my letter?" John's father said. "I'm next in line for the speech, so I took the liberty of coming up," I replied with a smile. The MC hurriedly introduced me. "I am Robert Smith, the bride Emily's brother." Robert Smith? Who is this youngster? John's father muttered, trying to recall. The father looked at me, searching through some memory. The groom's parents may oppose this marriage, but I support it. Though I may be just the son of a small packed lunch shop owner, my sister and I have shared many hardships together. We take great pride in the work we inherited from our late parents, and we always will. The room grew even more restless. I continued. They say handwriting reflects the heart. Looking at this letter written by the groom's father, I see nothing but a regrettable and rude individual. Placing such a poorly written letter on the bride and groom's table is an insult to their special day. What are you saying, you impertinent fool? I said it's a mismatch. John's father shouted. Do you know who I am, Mr. Thompson? I retorted firmly. Ah. You're Robert Smith, the owner of Smith's Packed Lunch? Recognition dawned on his face. I usually wear an apron with a headscarf. He finally matched the name with the person. Regardless of what you say. Even if this marriage seems like a modern-day Romeo and Juliet, I will support and watch over John and Emily as a brother and brother-in-law. Thank you for listening. The previously buzzing room fell silent, then erupted in applause. After the ceremony, John's father hurried over to me. I didn't realize you were the owner of Smith's Packed Lunch. I sincerely apologize for my rudeness. I'm just the son of a packed lunch shop owner. I understand your point clearly. The father had once visited our shop with his executive, proposing to turn our popular fried chicken into a frozen food product and even expand into a chain of fried chicken specialty stores. It was a pivotal project for their company, and I had been on the verge of signing the contract, impressed by how much they valued my recipe. But after the way he humiliated my sister and me, and embarrassed his own son at the wedding. Your handwriting reveals your character. My mother's words were right. Handwriting reflects the heart. Mr. Thompson, please consider the proposal null and void. It's impossible to work with you. That's impossible. We've already finalized the package design and sent it to the printer. We've also contracted and renovated 6 stores. You acted too quickly. I haven't signed the contract. Moreover, this recipe is a treasured family secret, refined by me from my late parents' original. I'm not giving it away. You should look elsewhere. The Smith's Packed Lunch brand carries significant weight. Please reconsider. Suddenly, John interjected and cut into the conversation. Dad, our relationship ends today, as promised. I never expected such a betrayal. I'm cutting ties with you. John, please reconsider. You're the only heir. John shouted with tears streaming down his face. Who broke our promise first? Thus, John ceased to be a son to his father. He took on our family name, becoming John Smith. After the tumultuous wedding, Emily and John moved into an apartment near the packed lunch shop. Emily's previously 0-minute commute turned into a 20-minute bike ride. Despite this, she continued to greet customers with her usual cheerful welcome, and worked hard in both customer service and food preparation. Handwritten pop signs are now Emily's specialty. They are an indispensable promotional tool for Smith's Packed Lunch. John supported me on the business side, asking, Robert, is there anything I can help with? Cutting ties with his parents did not diminish John's exceptional marketing skills. He later established a digital marketing company. With no heir left, John's parents brought in a new president for their food manufacturing company from outside. However, as a chairman, Mr. Thompson was not good at delegating and quickly drove the new president out. He then took on the title of chairman and president himself. But his notorious reputation caused the company to shrink further. The cost of losing John was steep for Mr. Thompson. With John's help, I focused on product development. While creating hit products was challenging, Smith's Packed Lunch gained more recognition. The chicken curry John suggested was initially sold in local convenience stores and supermarkets. But now it can be reached nationwide through online sales. It was even featured in department store catalogs for holiday gifts. It felt like a small stone causing ripples in a pond, expanding slowly but surely. What our late parents built was now blossoming. One day, a woman came for an interview. She was a year older than me. I looked over the resume. The handwriting on the resume was excellent. The handwriting was beautiful, reminiscent of my mother's. She expressed her love for our packed lunch and store interior. Her sincerity was evident. Emily vouched for her meticulous customer service and work ethic. Handwriting reflects the heart, I thought. Captivated by her elegant handwriting, I proposed to this passionate woman. Now, we have 2 children, making us a family of 4. Today, we're taking the food truck with our family and my sister's family to a gourmet food festival. The event is at a large park in New York. A large crowd is expected. We've refined our signature fried chicken for this day. I am confident that the future of Smith's packed lunch is bright.